I have been creating YouTube videos about watches for a little over 3 years now, and I have just realized I haven't made a state of the collection video yet. Today, I have taken out every single piece from my safety deposit box, and I will be sharing with you the current state of my collection. I have split my watches into two categories, the ones I receive as a gift, and the ones I purchase with my hard-earned money. I will walk you through my entire collection in the order of which I have received or purchased them. And I will also be sharing with you the watch that I have been wearing the most this year. There's a lot to unpack here, so without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the watches that I have received as a gift. First up is this Seiko 5. This was my first ever mechanical automatic watch, and my dad got it for me when I was in secondary school. I believe it is a 34mm watch, and it feels a little too small for my taste now, so I hardly wear it these days. I still have so many memories attached to this watch, and I can still remember the day I chose this watch at the store together with my father. Even though I don't really wear it anymore, this watch will never leave my collection as it is such a sentimental piece to me. Next is this watch by Rolex. This was gifted to me by my father-in-law. I always have a soft spot for the Breitling Never Timer, and this watch does remind me of it. I mean, I didn't choose this watch myself, nor have I ever told my father-in-law that I liked the Never Timer design, so you can only imagine how happy was I when I received this watch as a gift. Next up is this Citizen. Again, this was gifted to me by my father-in-law, and I received it as a Christmas present. This watch is very special to me as it was my first and only solar power watch. I have never had a solar power watch before, and I just love how low maintenance it is, as it will keep ticking as long as it is not tucked away in a dark place somewhere. Next is this 40mm maxi case Rolex Submariner. This was one of my first luxury watches, and it was gifted to me by my parents when I got married in 2018. I wore this watch on my wedding day, and I also took it with me to our honeymoon in Japan. I have created so many memories with this Submariner, and because it means so much to me, it is also a watch that will never leave my collection. The last watch that was gifted to me is this Mission to Uranus Moonswatch. I still remember when the Moonswatch was first released, there was so much hype, and there was always a queue outside this watch store. My wife knew exactly how much I wanted a Moonswatch at the time, so she decided to join the queue and pick up my top choice for me. It was a really nice surprise, and it had made my day. Now, let's move on to the watches that I purchased myself. In 2018, I bought myself my first ever Rolex, and that is this beautiful blue dial Datejust 41 configured with the fluted bezel and Jubilee bracelets. I purchased this watch to celebrate my achievement of completing two very difficult to obtain financial qualifications, the CFA and the FRM. This Datejust, together with the Submariner, have been my core two-piece rotation for 2 years until I start getting into Tudor. Which now neatly brings me to talk about the watches I purchased in 2020. The first watch I purchased in 2020 was this black dial black bezel Tudor Black Bay 58. This was a birthday present to myself, and I just love everything about this Black Bay 58. I like the size and the thickness of the case, I like the tool look together with the dial symmetry, and I also like the vintage vibe that my two modern Rolex watches cannot offer. And because I have enjoyed wearing this Black Bay 58 so much, when Tudor released the blue version in the second half of 2020, I just couldn't resist, so I picked this one up as well. I must admit, this Black Bay 58 blue is more of an impulse purchase, and in hindsight, I should have worn the original Black Bay 58 a lot more before deciding whether I should add another Black Bay 58 into my collection. By the way, I'm hoping to reach 5K followers on my Instagram account by the end of the year. If you like seeing watch photos and would also like to stay up to date with my channel, please consider following my Instagram account at KCTimeshare. Now, let's move on to the pieces I purchased in 2021. The first watch I bought was this Black Bay 58 Bronze. Yes, I know, it is another Tudor, but hear me out. When the Black Bay 58 Bronze was first introduced, it was being marketed as a boutique-only edition, meaning that you can only buy this watch from a Tudor boutique, and at the time when I picked this watch up, there were only 2 Tudor boutiques in the entire United Kingdom. So when I was offered this Black Bay 58 Bronze just 3 days after it was released, it was a no-brainer to me, as 1, it was not an easy watch to get hold of. 2, I have tried the Black Bay 58 model already, and I know I love everything about this lineup. And 3, I really wanted to experience wearing a bronze watch. Even though this Black Bay 58 Bronze was an impulse purchase, so it really didn't mean anything to me at the time, but this was the watch that started this YouTube channel, and it also led me to start my second YouTube watch channel, so this has some sentimental value to me. Unfortunately, this watch has been getting very little wrist time these days, and I'm not sure if this would be a keeper if I'm honest, but only time will tell. Next up is this 36mm Rolex Explorer. I have always liked the Explorer because of this simple design, and this is one of the few Rolex watches that can truly fly under the radar. Given I live in London, where watch crime is a real threat, wearing a Rolex Explorer is one of the best ways to experience Rolex without having to worry about safety. For a watch like this, I would like it to be on the smaller size, but up until 2021, the modern Rolex Explorer only comes in a 39mm case size, and I did not want to touch the vintage 36mm Explorer because I just hated the old style bracelet. So when Rolex finally relaunched the 36mm version with all the modern specs in 2021, I knew I had to get it. It was almost impossible to pick up a Rolex watch from an authorized dealer back in 2021, and it was even harder to get this specific model as it was a brand new release that year. I ended up having to purchase a Tudor Black Bay 36 together as a bundle in order to take this Explorer home. I sold my Black Bay 36 in the same week for a £200 loss, so I guess I can say I paid £200 over list price to buy this Explorer from an authorized dealer. The last watch I purchased in 2021 was this Omega Speedmaster Professional with the sapphire crystal. I love the iconic moonwatch look together with the brand new bracelet design, and I also love looking at the movement through the open case back. This watch is also super versatile as it pairs really well with rubber straps, leather straps, and NATO straps. This Speedmaster Professional is my first hand-wound watch, and it is my only chronograph in my current collection. I just wish I could wear it a bit more often. By the way, all the watch rolls and watch cases featured throughout this video are from a UK-based company called Smith & Rowe. They make some high-quality watch storage units at a very reasonable price point. I have tried almost all of their products now, and I highly recommend you to check out their watch rolls and watch cases. Smith & Rowe is currently running a year-end promotion where they are offering a free gift with purchase, and also have some bundle deals on offer. You can also use my affiliate code KC15 to get yourself 15% off your order. I'll leave a link to their website on the top right hand side of your screen and also in the description box down below if you want to check them out. Now let's get back to my watch collection. In 2022, I purchased my very first smartwatch, which is this Apple Watch Series 7. It was a watch that I knew I just wouldn't wear very often, as I knew I would always pick a mechanical watch over a smartwatch. But given how popular smartwatches are these days, I just couldn't resist getting one to find out what the hype was all about. Needless to say, I have hardly worn it since I bought it. But hey, at least now I know I won't ever need to spend a penny more on smartwatches going forward. Next is this green bezel green dial Seiko 5 Sports. I have heard so many good things about Seiko 5 Sports, so when I found a really good deal from an authorized dealer, I decided to go for it. Now that I have worn it for a couple of times, I've concluded that I'm not a huge fan of it because the watch just feels way too thick and it is not very comfortable to wear. I'm just glad that I didn't pay full retail price for this watch. The third watch I purchased in 2022 was this two-tone Rolex Datejust 36 with the palm motif dial, configured with the fluted bezel and Jubilee bracelet. This was my third Rolex purchase, and it was also the most expensive watch I've ever bought. I got this watch from a Rolex authorized dealer as a walk-in new customer with no purchase history. I love the palm motif dial as I find it very unique, and I also wanted to try a two-tone model at the time, and I thought Datejust was the best model to wear it in two-tone because the Datejust lineup is quite a dressy piece on its own. So it would make more sense to wear a steel and gold bimetal configuration on a Datejust than a sports watch like a Rolex Submariner. I was also having second thoughts on my Datejust 41 at the time, as I thought the Datejust 41 wears a little too big for my wrist, so this 36mm Datejust just checked all my boxes, and I'm glad I added it to my collection. The last watch I purchased in 2022 was this Mission to the Sun Moon's watch. I think this model has the best style in the entire collection, as it has a sunburst finish which no other Moon's watches have. I love the bold yellow color, and I think it is the perfect summer watch together with the Mission to Uranus that my wife got me. My wife and I often wear one of each in the summer, and these two together makes the perfect couple watch in my opinion. In 2023, my Moon's watch collection has continued to grow, as I was able to purchase all the models I like with no queue at all. I picked up 3 Moon's watches this year. First up is this Mission on Earth. This green Moon's watch was one of my favorite models when the Moon's watch collection was first announced, so I was glad that I was able to pick this one up. Next is the Mission to Pluto. This was the first Moon's watch in my collection which doesn't come with a vibrant color. It makes it very easy to wear as it can literally go with any outfit. And the final Moon's watch I added to my collection was the Mission to Mercury. I love the black and grey color scheme, and it does give me a bit of the G-Shock vibe which I like. After picking this one up, I figure my Moon's watch journey can finally end, as I have now collected all the ones I love in the entire collection. In the second half of 2023, I picked up 2 Rolex watches from my authorized dealer. First was the current production 41mm Rolex Submariner date. When I reconnected with the sales associate who sold me my first Rolex, the Datejust 41 that we talked about, he noticed that I had the Submariner date on the wishlist and said he had one for me if I am still interested. Even though this 41mm Submariner date looks so similar to my 40mm Submariner, I can see myself owning both in the same collection, so I took up the offer. When I purchased this watch, it didn't mean much to me, but I ended up wearing this watch when my baby was born, so it now means something to me. I think this might eventually become a gift to my baby when he gets older. After purchasing the Rolex Submariner date, I added the steel and rose gold GMT Master 2 to my wishlist. To my surprise, my sales associate offered me this beautiful root beer within 2 months. I love this watch because even though it is a two-tone watch, it is actually quite understated, and it is a lot easier to wear than I initially expected. I'm glad I was able to add this root beer to my collection, and it is currently one of my favorite watches in my collection. By the way, if you are enjoying this video so far, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to my channel. This will mean a lot to me. 2024 was a big year for me as I purchased 3 Rolex watches this year. The first watch I picked up was this green dial 36mm Rolex Oyster Perpetual. Over the years, I've learned that I don't mind sports model with a rotating bezel to be slightly larger, but for something a little bit more dressy like the Datejust, OP and the Explorer, 36mm is the sweet spot for me. And I really wanted a green dial OP36. To my surprise, my sales associate offered me this OP36 on my birthday, so the warranty card was dated with my birthday on. And my sales associate also made my purchasing experience extra special that day. This is probably another watch that would never leave my collection given my memories associated with it. The second Rolex watch I purchased this year was a blue dial Datejust 36 configured with the fluted bezel and a Jubilee bracelet. I know, this is the exact same watch as my Datejust 41 except for the size difference. The reason why I picked this one up is that I was thinking of swapping my Datejust 41 for a Datejust 36. As you can see, the sales associate didn't take off all the stickers, and because I haven't been going to the office since I got this watch, I didn't get a chance to wear a dressy piece like this yet, so this watch is currently still in unworn condition. But I can see myself wearing this watch a lot more often next year as I start working in the office more often. The final watch I added to my collection this year was the Rolex GMT Master 2 Batgirl. I waited for roughly 7 months before my authorized dealer offered me this piece. This is one of the grail pieces of mine for a very long time, and I still cannot believe I finally managed to add this watch to my collection. I'm still in my honeymoon period with this Batgirl, and I think this is also going to be a keeper. It is very hard for me to say which watch do I like the most out of my entire collection, as they each tells a story, and it means something to me one way or the other. But what I can tell you is what watch do I tend to put it on my wrist throughout 2024, and the most worn watch for the year is by far the Root Beer. Having both a date and a GMT complication, the Root Beer is a very practical watch for daily use, and I just love that it is a two-tone watch without being too over the top. It is such an easy watch to wear, and I think the color scheme goes really well with my skin tone. And because of this, I always tend to keep the Root Beer in my rotation, whereas most of my other pieces tend to spend more time in the safety deposit box in a bank. So there you have it. This is my current state of the collection. And if you would like to find out how much would I make or lose if I were to sell my collection, you should check out this video.